Hello, everyone. Team Limit Break here. My name is Saul Pena, aka Cloud Strife with a K and a W and a 1. Jeez, I'm all over the place. Anyways, we are here with Azul Besares, our Petite Cup champion. After some audio technical difficulties, we are finally able to get this going. So say hi to say hi to the Final Fantasy world.
Hello everyone, it's Azul here, your California Petite Cup champion. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you. It's good to have you, my friend. Let's get right into these questions. These are going to be a lot more about the player and about your thought process, and a little bit about your deck, but not so much about your deck because we all know how that performed, right? Missed the first place. So walk me through the week before, the night before, the morning of the event. How do you prepare for an event like the Petite Cup?
Oh man, well, this one, hopefully I can relate to a lot of you, but there's some that I think would get a really good chuckle out of this. So exactly a week before, I hadn't played the game since, I want to say the first week of November. That was like the last tournament I entered, and I took a break from the game, and I was just waiting for Opus 4 to come out. So I'm also a collector of the card game, so I like to collect the cards as a whole. So when I prepare for the next Opus, I like to buy boxes. I typically buy 2 or 3, depending on the cards from the set. So exactly a week before, I still didn't have any cards, so my only immersion to the set was looking at spoilers. So just looking at key cards and thinking about what deck to make was my deal.
Okay. And when you were reading through those previews, how excited were you to see Azul?
Oh man, totally excited. I was waiting for him to come out. He, like in a chapter series, I saw him and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for this guy to come out and make a scene. So he definitely had my eyes on him when he was shown in the spoilers.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. So what's it? My boxes came in probably the Tuesday before the event, so that's when I started organizing and looking at all the rest of the cards of the set. And what else did I do? Yeah, organized. That weekend, I took a trip to SoCal area, San Diego. That's where I used to live.
Okay.
Went to visit some friends and just hang out and just chill out from work and all that. So as I'm doing that, I bring my whole collection of my whole entire Final Fantasy collection just to make sure I have a deck ready to go to bring to Petite Cup.
There you go. So, you want access to every card just in case.
Yeah, the whole cards in my collection for sure.
Jeez.
So I was just thinking what decks to run. Since I hadn't run anything with Azul yet, I just throw in deck ideas for Mono Lightning. I had thoughts about running a Fire Ice kind of deck too, like a aggro deck, as we've seen some of the guys run in the top Petite Cup as well.
Yeah, Fire Ice was very popular at that event as well. It did very well.
Yeah, it sure did. And so with all the deck ideas, deck testing, I did a casual tournament with a shop called Brute Force Games on Saturday, and I actually entered a Wind Earth kind of mill deck just to test it out, and the deck did okay, but it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, like trying to deck out
and win, probably.
And win, yeah. So it won some games, but not through deck out.
Okay. So was that a whole bunch of thieves?
Yeah, I ran 3 of the Opus Thieves just to mill 2, and I would try to run Riku, of course, and Sid Highwind.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot more thought went into it than I thought it would. You went, days. You prepared for days for this event. So I mean, I guess that's what it takes to win.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a few days, I would say.
So you were preparing your deck. What about, any predictions that you had prior to the event for like the meta? Like, what did you expect to see at the event?
I had a strong sense that monsters, especially with this new set coming out, just monsters.
Everyone was
So
itching to try them.
yeah, especially there was that one water monster deck that topped as well. It
Yep.
was he was playing it at the Brute Force tournament.
Okay.
I was actually saw it, so I was like, man, this deck is like amazing. Can do so many things. So I figured a bunch of other people would be trying that out as well at the tournament.
Yeah, I think you were right there. So through the deck building process, you thought lightning, and you settled on lightning. But was it the monster deck specifically that led you to settle on lightning, or was it a combination of a couple of things?
To be honest, it's just straight up the Azul card. I wanted to make
All right,
I wanted to make that deck, so
that
I
worked
tried
out
to make
then.
the best deck and saw had to be mono lightning, and that was the end of that.
Okay. Well, so then you have this deck that's you know not based around Azul, but was inspired by this one specific card that only has synergies with monsters. So if someone were to pick up your deck right now and pilot it, like what would be the most difficult thing about piloting your deck for them, or even for you?
Okay, definitely like with a bunch of other decks, knowing when to play your cards is probably the most difficult thing because I like to think ahead, and typically don't want to just play my cards just because I want to increase board advantage or increase my card advantage at that moment.
Okay.
So I always try to consider things like, if I use this card now, will it maintain my board state? If I use this now and my opponent takes advantage, would I regret it and wish I had the card to turn
Can you
my
recover
on the next turn?
from the play? I see what you're saying.
Yes,
That's
things
smart
like
because
that.
I actually know a lot of players who think the opposite of
Mhm.
that, and they want to just play what's in their hand now and make the best play every turn.
Mhm.
Um, but you think ahead, because that's interesting.
Yeah,
I
I guess
like
it
that.
goes along with how your playstyle is because aggressive decks can go with along with that kind of strategy, and it works for them. But depending on the deck, of course, and the player, you'll
Very true.
make those choices.
Okay. Looking back at the event now that it's all over and you took home the prize, would you make any changes to your deck or your playstyle?
If I just focus solely on the event,
Yeah.
I don't think I would have wanted to make any changes.
Oh.
The the matchups I went against were pretty good. There wasn't like a card that I had that I would say to myself, I wish this was something different. The deck just flowed well, and I probably just ended up drawing the cards at the right time.
It will definitely worked out. Um,
Mhm.
so our first article over at Limit Break, it was all about how to win your first tour championship, and I highlighted things you can do against Al Cid and the Mono Lightning deck. Actually, it was inspired by your win at the Petite Cup.
Uh-huh.
So I can ask you directly at this point. How important was Al Cid for the deck's success, or was there another card that really tortured your opponents?
Yeah, Alcid is definitely the highlight of the deck, and we'll probably see popularity throughout the whole game. It's still one of the best tempo plays you can make. If he destroys, along with the card he brings in, he destroys that card that you're looking to break. Because you break a monster, you have two forwards out. It's just for 4 CP.
Yeah.
That's still a pretty amazing play.
Al Cid doing Al Cid things. So if anyone out there is struggling against Al Cid, make sure to check out the article I wrote on how to handle it, or some ideas on how to beat Al Cid. But let's take a little break right now from all these questions. I really like rapid fire, man. I'm sorry. I got a little segment here that for the interviews, so a little something different, where I actually built an exact copy of your winning deck, and I have it in my hand right now.
All right.
and we are going to see what would the winner do. So I'm gonna draw opening hands, and you tell me what you would do, if you would mulligan, what you would play, assuming you don't know what your opponent is playing against, and assuming you're going first.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Now let's do this. All right, 1,
Sure.
2, 3, 4, 5. I drew the Emperor, a Ramza, an Azul, a Red Mage, and a Magus.
Ooh, that's. I'd actually think about this one for a quick second.
Yeah?
The 2-drop. Oh, we always want to see those 2-drop
Yeah,
backups
there's 2 of them.
off the top of bat. So, Ramses is a target for Al Cid. So I'd say, more likely than not, I would probably hold on to that.
Okay. So you keep this hand, and your first turn will be what?
All right. So, you draw a card.
Yep.
See,
So we drew a Lulu.
what was the card?
Backup Lulu.
Okay, that's perfect. That's really good. So
It's a great hand,
opening
man.
hand, yeah, opening hand. As much as I love the card, Azul has to go.
All right.
Has to make the first pitch for the Red Mage.
Azul for Red Mage. All right.
And pass to turn after
That's the
that.
turn. Okay. Let's do this one more time. This time, assuming you're going second. And let's say you're playing against a fire aggro build. Right? Fire X aggressive, and you know from previous scouting. First draw, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got Cyclops, Red Mage, Lulu, Ramza, and Edia. I can never say her name right.
Yeah, yeah. That's still a pretty good hand. You have Red Mage, Lulu. If I was against a fire aggro, I would actually. Yeah, I'm like 50-50 in the air, depending. So I think with the backup setup, I'd still go with that.
Okay.
I'd probably want more of the Opus 2 Black Mage.
We drew a
Or-
Summoner and a Behemoth for our first 2 draws.
Okay, that's not too bad. Since I'm playing against aggro, I'd want to put in more backups. So I'd probably pitch Behemoth for the Red Mage,
Behemoth for Red Mage, done.
and I'd probably do. What were the first 5 again?
Cyclops, Edia, Ramza,
Okay, yeah.
Lulu.
Yeah, and then I would probably pitch Adia and the Summoner to play Lulu. Play the 2 backups.
Okay. Overpaying for the Lulu. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is what the winner would do with those 2 hands. So keep that in mind, all you listeners who are looking to play this deck or something similar to this deck. Moving right along. What do you think about the current state of the game? You know, now that the tournaments is done and you're doing well, but the game as a meta, how is Square Enix doing as a company? How do you like supporting the Final Fantasy trading card game?
I think the game is doing pretty well. It's definitely improving based on the history that we've seen. Opus 4 had that pre-release, which is the first pre-release that they've ever done, and Opus 4 actually had a timely release, and it didn't have any delay like Opus 2 and Opus
That was
3.
really exciting.
Yeah,
That really was. It was groundbreaking.
I know. So, and then the monsters added new dynamic to the game, so it definitely keeps it very interesting.
So you see yourself
And-
playing for quite a while.
Yes, I've been playing since the game came out, like Opus 1, back in November 2016.
Okay.
That's when it first came out, so it's pretty good. Long
All right.
time. One thing,
Yeah.
Square Enix, I think they're doing okay job, but they definitely should do a lot more advertising with the game,
Okay.
since they have like no commercials, no anything besides just us word of mouth and Facebook and things like that. That's the only advertising I see.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I was reading on the Facebook page, and Matt Cosmore has said that there were so many players at the ARG in Florida recently that just didn't know the game existed, but were definitely interested.
Yeah, I definitely hear that as well. So I wish, hopefully in the future, we'll get more exposure. For the
All right, so Square, if you're listening, this is from your champ. Advertise more.
Please do.
Do you think you're going to stick with Mono Lightning for the remainder of Opus 4, or do you have another deck in mind, like that mill deck?
Oh yeah, I definitely have more decks in mind. I actually never ran Mono Lightning in a tournament before,
Oh,
but I played against it so many times, so I feel like I knew how to run it. So
it feels like Mono Lightning
since-
feels like a very West Coast type of deck, very aggressive.
oh yes,
I'm from
Definitely
Boston
see-
here.
all right.
We don't play a lot of the aggro stuff. There's a lot of control mirrors around here. I mean, you get the occasional aggro deck, but y'all love your Mono Lightning.
yeah, I believe they do, and we also love the Mono Earth as well. So I see a bunch of those two decks running
Okay.
around all over the place.
As a Mono Earth player, I like that.
Yeah, so I set out my goal. I mean, winning a championship is probably a pretty big goal. So
That's
the Mono
awesome.
Lightning served its purpose.
Fantastic.
And looking at like the tournaments that just finished over this past weekend, I'm definitely a big fan of Sam Riley's Earth Water deck, the one that won the Ifrit Summoner Series for day one.
Yeah, I saw that. Very interesting list. Hopefully, Sam will be on our show next. Coming soon to a theater near you now.
Oh, that'd be great. Definitely
That'd be
be
awesome.
listening to that one too. And I'd probably look into running the monsters. So probably like mono water or ice water monsters. Just playing against that deck, it can just do so much. A lot of technical things can go on with that deck. So
It definitely rewards skill in
Yes.
decision making. We got a guest question from Kimiami Land from Lowell, Massachusetts. She asked you specifically, Azul, do you have a deck that you use to troll your friends? If so, what is it?
ooh, that's a fun question. There are. I do have a few that I, try to make and at the same time try to see if it's competitive or not. But just as a fun tactic, I like to play a black mage deck. I want to say it's like I guess I don't know if you could call it like a trolley type of thing, but there's that black mage from Opus 3 where you need to set up at least 4 black mages.
Oh, right, yeah. To do a bunch of damage or reduce the power,
To
right?
reduce a forward's power by 8,000.
By kill a forward, got it.
Yeah, so it'll kill a forward. So I try doing that. Then I have I make these decks where I only fit common cards in
Oh,
and try to make the best deck with just common cards. So I try a mono fire all common deck.
all common, no rares.
Yeah, no rares, nothing like it's kind of like the popper but just without the rares.
Got it.
So
Well,
it's just fun stuff. I mean, trying to get over things with small cards is kind of fun.
Yeah, and then if you can actually sneak a win in there, just looking at their opponent's face, did I just lose to Con? Oh, man.
Yeah, that's
the
definitely a
best
fun
part.
thing. Doesn't happen so much, but when it does, I'll be like,
It
Gotcha.
feels real good.
just-
Well, there you go, Kimmy. He likes to black mage troll, and he likes to troll with commons.
Thanks, Kim.
Hey, man, that's the interview. That's everything. This is Azul Besares. Congratulations on your win. Don't forget to check out the ARG events come up in Vegas. That's going to be January 6th and 7th. In 375 East Harmon Ave in Las Vegas. And also the second Petite Cup is January 20th in Tampa, Florida at Cool Stuff Games in Tampa. Thanks again, Azul. We really appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. This is Team Limit Break. My name is Saul Pena. We out.